So recently, over the past month, I've been very consistent with my football training, and I think the reason for this was a serious shift in my mentality. The mental shift that occurred was simply me being grateful for being in the position I currently am, even though it's not the position I ultimately want to be in. I feel like as a footballer, you have to stop using the phrase, oh, I have to do this, and start using the phrase, I get to do this. So for example, start telling yourself, okay, I get to go to training. I get to go to the gym, work on my strength, work on my power. I get to go outside and go for a run, improve my fitness, improve my speed, improve all of those aspects in my game. Instead of you going into it thinking, oh, I have to go train, I have to go to the gym. Because when you have that mentality of, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, you're just going to be dreading it the whole day. You're going to be procrastinating, you're going to be scrolling on your phone, and you're just going to be thinking in your head like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. But once you get into the mentality of like, yo, I get to do this, that's when you're actually going to be excited to go train, excited to go to the gym. And the reason why you need to do this is because in order for this mentality to work, you have to just think about all the people who are not in your position. You understand? They're not in your position to work on their game, to actually make their dreams become a reality. So for example, think about all the guys right now who are injured. Think about the guys, maybe you know somebody in your real life, maybe it's even professional footballers. Think about maybe the professional footballers you've seen where they've torn their ACL, they've torn their Achilles, they've had a leg break, and they're currently just sitting on the sidelines, they're just rehabbing, and they're in a position where they're just like, yo, I wish I could just get back onto the football pitch. I wish I could just get back onto the football pitch. I'm tired of this rehab, like, and they're probably thinking to themselves like, yo, if I was healthy, if I was fit and available, I'd be training every single day. You understand? So if you're fit, if you're healthy right now, if you're injury free right now, you should be taking that opportunity to think to yourself, yo, there's other people who are going through, injuries, Achilles tears, ACLs, they're rehabbing, and I'm just here healthy and I'm being lazy, I'm procrastinating. And that should motivate you. That should be like, yo, let me go train, you know what I'm saying? Let me go train. Maybe it's even some players who have had career-ending injuries so bad that they can never get back to the player that they once were, you know what I'm saying? Think about players like Rodri, like Gavi, like you see when Rodri was at the Ballon d'Or with his crutches, he was probably thinking like, damn, yeah, he won the Ballon d'Or, I'm pretty sure he was happy with that, but he was probably like, yo, I wish I was playing, helping out Man City. There's a reason why Man City didn't do as well this season as they normally do. It's because Rodri wasn't there. Think about the time where Gavi, I remember when Gavi tore his ACL and he was screaming from the heavens and he was just saying like, yo, why me? Why me? Why me? So as a footballer yourself, you have to just think about these moments and be like, yo, you just need to be grateful that, yo, you're injury free, you don't have any injuries. You're fit, you're healthy, you can go out and train if you wanted to, you can go out and play for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So what are you doing sitting at home, you know what I'm saying? Sitting at home, wasting your potential. And that's sort of the mentality you have to have. You have to start saying to yourself, yo, instead of saying, oh, I have to go train, I have to do this, start saying to yourself, yo, I get to go train, you know what I'm saying? I have an opportunity to go train, because certain aspiring footballers don't have that opportunity. There are probably some people with amazing talent, amazing just natural ability, but they simply just come from a situation, come from poverty to the point where it's like, yo, they just don't have the money to sort of invest in their football career like that in order to achieve their football dreams. Like they don't have the money to, sign for clubs, because when you're growing up, you have to pay to actually join, certain football clubs, whether it's your local club or whether it's a club sort of at a higher standard. I'm pretty sure it's only academies. Maybe even academies, you have to pay some money for, a few fees here and there. But some people just simply don't have that money, you understand? They don't have that money to invest in themselves, to buy their football boots, to buy their shin pads, to pay for their club, to pay for the kits and all of that, the travel. Maybe their parents don't even have a car, so they can't really, get to training, travel to games, you understand? It's just one of them things where it's like, in my opinion, you just sort of have to be grateful. Even if you're not in the position that you want to be in ultimately, you just have to sort of be grateful, because this is how you enjoy the journey as well. If you always say, alright, cool, I'm only going to be happy when I get to this level, when I get to this level, ultimately you're just going to, you're not going to enjoy the journey. You're going to wake up every day and you're going to be like, oh, I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet. However, when you're grateful, when you know that, alright, cool, my football situation isn't the best, but it could be a lot worse, you understand? It could be a lot worse. Then you're going to start enjoying the journey, and then obviously if you enjoy the process, once you enjoy the journey, that's going to lead to you being more consistent, because it's actually going to be enjoyable for you, you know what I'm saying? Be grateful for, the fact that you even play for it. Play for a team. Certain guys, like I said before, can't afford to play for a team, or they're in a situation where they don't even play for a team. They're steady looking for a club. Like me playing semi-professional football, I know there are certain guys who want to play semi-pro, but they simply just can't join a team for whatever reasons, whether it's that they don't have any links or they can't go to any trials, or for whatever reason they have, personal stuff, their personal life doesn't allow them to, play football. So yeah, in my opinion, just always say to yourself, if you're one day just chilling and you're just like, oh, I have to do this, to improve my game, I have to go work on my technicals, I have to go work on my fitness, I have to go do sprints, I have to go to the gym. Just instead of saying I have to, say that you have the opportunity to, you understand, and don't waste that opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna get to the end and you're gonna be like, yo, if only I'd put in the work, maybe I could have made it. Maybe I could have been playing at a higher level, making a good amount of money playing football, but I just didn't put in the effort. And obviously you're going to live with that regret, and nobody wants to live with that regret for the rest of their lives. So yeah, once you do this, once you have that mental shift and you start telling yourself, yo, I get to do this, I have the opportunity to go train, work on my game, improve as a player, try and make it to the highest level of football as I possibly can. Once you have that sort of mentality, trust me, your work rate and your consistency, it's naturally going to improve, you know what I'm saying? It's just naturally going to go higher because, like I said, you'll be more grateful for where you're at and you'll enjoy the process way more. So that's the vid for today. That's the mental shift that occurred for me, which made me even more consistent than I actually was before, you know what I'm saying? It made me way more consistent and increased my work rate by about 100 times, you know what I'm saying? So let me know if you enjoyed the vid. Let me know what other videos you want to see in the comment section below. I've been JT and I'm out.